Today I'm reviewing Star Trek Into Darkness. By virtue of this, there probably will be some spoilers, so I will not explicitly tell you most of them. They won't ruin your life. I won't tell you who Cumberbatch is or any significant plot changes. I have John here to start crying and screaming if I do ruin the plot. So that'll be your alarm.
I feel like I'm using
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Darkness is coming.
This could just be the beginning.
Beginning of what?
All-out war.
So is this a good movie? Yeah, it's pretty good. It depends on what your expectations are, though. If you walk in not expecting too much, it's great. It's thrilling, it's fun, there's cliffhanger to cliffhanger to cliffhanger. There are lots of lens flares, but they're not horrible. They can be fun sometimes. They're there. It was also a problematic movie. If you've seen a certain 1980s Star Trek movie, well, you're going to see lots of hints of it again in this movie. It didn't really take great risks, great leaps of faith into uncharted territory. It was more or less telling a story that you've already heard before. I mean, there are some changes. It's not word for word, but still it's predictable. Things will happen more or less the way you think they will. Cumberbatch is actually brilliant in the role. He's very, very good. I think he's going to get a lot more acting roles in the US because of this, and he may even get some nominations for awards, but I think a lot more could have been done with his character. He's not very well-rounded, I guess. I mean, I think there were opportunities for us to see why he is doing what he is doing, and I mean, they hinted it a little bit, that what he's doing is not necessarily all evil, and he has some good motivation in his heart, but we don't really get into it, and we don't really end up sympathizing with him, and I think we could have. There's also a point in the movie where you think he's going to maybe not be the main antagonist. He might even help the Enterprise fight a different antagonist as an ally, and I was really interested to see where that could have gone, and it didn't go anywhere. But we did get to see Alice Eve in her underwear for no reason. On that note, there are other truly groan-worthy moments, including one between Kirk and Spock, in which there is a famous Shatnerism said that should not be said. There's also a huge twist later on in the movie that you will see coming from a mile away. That's one of the main problems I had with this movie. They like to tell things instead of showing them, making scenes that could be very gripping and upsetting and heart-wrenching and strong and powerful turn into nothing, because you will see the solution to it literally a second later. I mean, they literally told you what the solution was before it happens. I'm trying not to spoil it, and it makes the scene fall flat. You do not care at all that it's happening, and you really should. There's a difference between Star Trek and Star Wars movies. Besides the obvious, Star Trek is very deliberate, science-obsessed, technology-obsessed, and exploration is at the center of this world. Star Wars is, well, it's more like an action movie, or more action-oriented, and there's a lot of lore and mysticism, and I mean, there's hallmarks of old cowboy movies and samurai movies, and at the center of that is conflict. Well, this Star Trek movie felt more like a Star Wars movie, and it makes you wonder, will the Abrams-directed Episode 7 feature tribbles? Side note, where the hell did Bones get a tribble? I think if you are really into Star Trek and you've been following it religiously, this movie will piss you off, and it will be a little bit insulting to your intelligence, especially when they throw out problems that could be solved by a 10-year-old. But this movie was meant, I think, to appeal to everyone. So the film was a little bit predictable. It didn't exactly boldly go or take any great leaps, but it was still enjoyable. And you'd think they would put some more safety rails on the ship by now. But there were some things that, there were calls to real-world issues that I was really glad they put in. There was a suicide bombing, addressing drone strikes, needless civilian death, and I'm really glad they did. One character said something that was something I really liked, which was, "There will always be those who mean to do us harm. To stop them, we risk awakening the same evil in ourselves." And it proves to be central to that plot point, and that is a plot point I did enjoy seeing play out. Overall, this is a good movie. You won't think very hard. You may groan. You may roll your eyes. To me, it wasn't as good as the first one. This may actually turn the old Star Trek movie axiom on its head, where they had said the even-numbered Star Treks were the better ones. Well, at least to me, not so much. But it did end on a hopeful note that they will go back to their roots of exploration and family.